Welcome back. Now, it's been a sad time for the rescuers of over 500 flamingo chicks rescued from a dried-up dam in Kimberley in the Northern Cape. 186 of them died within 24 hours of arriving in Cape Town last week. The rest are receiving round-the-clock treatment at the Sunkoob Rehabilitation Centre. ENC's Peladi Situsa checked up on them.
These tiny chicks are being given a lifeline at a bird rehabilitation centre. Some were hatching when they were abandoned by their flamingo parents in a dried-out dam.
If you pick a little tiny chick out of a dam, you put it in a box, you drive it on a bakkie, it has to fly. I think they were probably even driven down to Pretoria, then put on a plane. They obviously come here in very bad conditions, so that's the reason why we lost so many in the first few hours.
Barely able to stand on their own, they're fed every 3 hours to keep up their strength.
At the moment they're getting fed a mixture of eggs, baby formula, prawns and fish, which is actually being prepared here behind me. So it's a lot of work, boiling eggs, peeling eggs, putting everything in a blender, then it gets pulled up in little syringes.
40 volunteers are currently assisting, but a lot more will be needed.
We will need volunteers for the next 3 to 4 months, so there's still time to help. We have a list of things that we need on our webpage and our Facebook page.
They will be released back into the wild in 4 months' time. Peladi Situsa, Cape Town.
British lawmakers are sending Prime Minister Theresa May back to Brussels to renegotiate the terms of the country's divorce from the European Union. Germany's ambassador to South Africa says Brexit will have disastrous effects for his country.
Well, I think the UK is the third largest trade partner of Germany. We exchange goods in the tens of billions of pounds or euros every year. And if we have to find a new way without a customs union, then we need to employ thousands and thousands of officials for customs questions. And all that, we believe, is not really necessary, but we need to do it because then the UK will not be part of the common market, will not be part of the European Union, and will not be part of the common market, of the customs union, which means that we have to treat the UK and goods from the UK as something from outside.
The West push against Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro is about capturing the country's wealth. That's according to that country's ambassador in South Africa. Venezuela is facing a political crisis with an imploding economy and the opposition leader declaring himself interim president. ENC's Kailiche Kumalo sat down with the ambassador.
In Venezuela, we have only one president. The president is Nicolás Maduro. He was elected.
Setting the record straight, Ambassador Mariana Moreno Merida is adamant President Maduro won last year's election fairly. The US and some Western powers are denouncing Maduro's government, calling it illegitimate. They recognize opposition leader Juan Guaido, but the ambassador believes this is more than politics.
The plan is to take our natural resources. Our problem, the real problem in Venezuela, is our natural resources. We have the biggest reserve of the oil in the world. We have the biggest reserve of the gold in the world.
The South African government has thrown its weight behind President Maduro.
We recognize the duly elected, democratically elected president of Venezuela until such time as he steps down or until such time as there is an election.
The ambassador is claiming Venezuelans don't want any military intervention and won't allow a coup to happen. Instead, they want to revive their battered economy. Kailiche Kumalo, Pretoria.
Tanks, machine guns, rocket launchers and fighter jets. It seems the upcoming Armed Forces Day will have it all.
It's not every day you get to have a media briefing on board the SAS Amatola, but this is all part of preparations ahead of Armed Forces Day 2019, a week-long spectacle that's going to start from the 16th and run to the 21st of February.
You'll see there'll be flying capability demonstrations, there'll be a capability demonstration on the beaches of Bloberg, as you'll hear from Admiral Machamani's briefing, and there will be a firepower demonstration firing into False Bay. even though no one's shooting back at us or trying to prevent us landing on the beaches and that, it's still a worthwhile exercise and quite a tricky planning exercise to plan these things. So it makes us better. It improves our capability by doing this.
AFD 19, as it's being called, is going to see the length and the breadth of the South African National Defence Force deployed, including the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and the medical health services. But why is it even important to host an event like this annually?
I think our youth are not actually aware of the career opportunities which are offered within the South African National Defence Force. So it's very important that the youth of Cape Town visit the Fen Park over the period the 16th to the 19th, where we will be hosting a career village where all the services will be presenting.
In terms of the logistics arrangement, especially taking into account the current austerity measures, it's been a difficult one. For argument's sake, we have to kind of scale down some of the activities that we are going to do to a period of 6 days. And some of the equipment and assets that we're bringing to Western Cape, we would have liked to bring more.
There are going to be 8,500 military personnel involved in this week-long capability exercise. And there's going to be 160 heavy vehicles parading through the streets of Cape Town. The Defence Force says this is a week not to be missed. Michael Apple on board the SAS Amatola in Cape Town.
And finally, can coffee and cake change the world? Well, one Cape Town resident believes so. In fact, she's using her baking skills to change the stigma often associated with the Cape Flats. Tanya Neft has the story.
At first glance, it looks like any other coffee shop, right? But it's a first for Bonteheuwel. This Cape Flats community usually makes headlines for all the wrong reasons: gangsterism, drugs and violence. But Anissa Seal is adding a spoonful of sweetness to her community.
Anissa, this is such an incredible spot. I love it. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I love baking. I bake all the time, and cooking, of course. I decided to have it in Bonteheuwel because I want to be at home with my kids. There's many people here that need help, and I just thought, why not, yeah.
Not only is she creating a coffee culture on the Cape Flats, she's also creating jobs, all from the stoop of her own home.
When Anissa said she's going to open a business, I said, I have skills making my coffee, skills that I actually taught myself. So, yeah.
I think it's a great idea because I'm too lazy to cook breakfast for myself.
I enjoyed not going far away actually for coffee and eggs and bacon and stuff.
Anissa hopes her delicious food and great coffee will put a little corner of the Cape Flats on the map.
My dream is to have tourists coming into Bonteheuwel.
Well, Anissa, it was so wonderful chatting to you, and congratulations on what you're doing here in Bonteheuwel and right here on your doorstep. We wish you all the best. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Tanya Neft, Bonteheuwel.
Well, this is where we end the week in one. I'm Dan Moyane.